What does DNS hijacking mean? DNS hijacking is a malicious exploit in which a hacker or other party redirects users through the use of an unauthorized DNS server or some other policy that changes the IP address that a web user is redirected to. DNS hijacking can leave users unaware of their destination in terms of using specific servers during an internet session.
Types of DNS hijacking.
DNS router hijacking. DNS router is a hardware system used by domain service providers to align their corresponding IP addresses with domain names. Most routers come with default passwords and a host of firmware-wide bugs. They will quickly divert traffic to another website and scramble the corporate website and make it unreachable if they succeed in crushing the DNS router.
DNS hijacking for man-in-the-middle. This is often referred to as DNS spoofing. In this scenario, the attacker targets and intercepts the contact between website traffic and the site's DNS, modifying the DNS settings to direct the traffic to a malicious IP address.
How does DNS hijacking work? When you try to launch a website by entering a web address into a browser, a DNS query is made. The websites you have visited recently will be stored in your browser cache, in which case the request is not forwarded to DNS. In all other cases, the PC or smartphone must communicate with the name server. These are usually provided by internet providers, but some users prefer to use Google domain name servers or public DNS services. Communication with the server is the risky part, as the exchange of request and response often occurs without encryption and relies on our trust in the system. This allows attackers to intercept requests and redirect users.
Why are DNSs hijacked?
DNS can be hacked for various reasons. The hijacker can use it for farming, which involves showing advertisements to users in order to generate revenue, or phishing, which directs users to a fake version of your website for the purpose of stealing data or login information.
Internet service providers, ISPs, are also known to use domain forwarding to control DNS queries from users to collect user data. Other organizations use domain hijacking for censorship or redirecting users to other websites.
How can DNS hijacking attacks be prevented? There is little that individual users can do to protect themselves from losing credentials in these types of attacks. If the attacker is thorough enough when creating their dummy site, it can be very difficult for even highly technical users to spot the difference. One way to mitigate these attacks would be for DNS providers to strengthen their authentication, taking measures such as requiring two-factor authentication, which would make it considerably more difficult for attackers to gain access to the panels. DNS administration. Browsers can also update their security policies, for example by examining the source of TLS certificates to ensure that they come from a source that conforms to the domain on which they are used.